All right. Hello there, everybody. All right. We've got a new sermon coming up this week, of course, and that's going to be from Genesis 32. So, of course, a couple weeks ago, we started this walk, this new journey through the Old Testament. And we're really focused on this big idea that God is at the center of everything. And we're kind of doing a little mini series through talking about names. And so we talked about Adam and Eve a couple weeks ago, and then Adam in particular naming the animals, which was really interesting. As last week, we talked about the birth of Isaac and Sarah's laughter and all that. A couple of fun stories. Well, we got another fun and interesting story this week as well in Genesis 32. You guys may not know that it comes from Genesis 32, but it's the story of Jacob wrestling with God, an angel. With whom does he wrestle? We're going to talk about that. It's a really interesting story, and another kind of silly one for us to kind of play with and dive into and explore and think about the different ways of thinking about this story. And I'm looking forward to doing that with you on Sunday. So I want you to read Genesis 32. Really kind of sink your teeth into what's going on in this moment that Jacob wrestles with God, again, angel, who is this? I would encourage you, maybe get online and kind of Google search, with whom did Jacob wrestle, and just see the different answers that are out there. And one thing in particular, if you're interested in doing this, that I might kind of tell you to do is see if you can find a Jewish way or two of thinking about the story, and then also see if you can find a couple of different ways that Christians have thought about this story, because sometimes they're different, sometimes they're similar. It's really all quite fascinating. So another fun story to think about. But again, this moment, that Jacob wrestles with whoever this is, whether it's an angel, whether it's God, kind of like what we talked about with the story of Abraham and Sarah last week, these three men who show up. Is it literally God, or these angels? Who are these people? Regardless of who exactly they are, they represent God, right? Again, God is at the center. Sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we read the Old Testament and we think, oh, these are just people way back when, whatever. God was off and far away and yada, yada. No, God is really here in these moments with these people, in relationship with them, helping them, talking to them, sometimes chastising, reprimanding them, right? But God is there. God is at the center of what's going on. And that's why we're looking at these stories with that overarching theme. So anyway, I'm excited to talk about the story because it's one that I really, really enjoy. And I hope you will too as we dive into it. So be prepared for that. Read Genesis 32, and I hope to see you on Sunday.